Mike with Rendition Paintball, and today we are going to show you how to install your Rendition magnet trigger kit. This kit was designed for the Planet Eclipse ETEK and the ETEK2. Only takes about 10 minutes to install. The first thing you want to do is make sure that your gun is completely degassed, and the way how you do that is by pressing your bolt forward all the way until it stops. Make sure that there's no air pressure in the gun. If there is air pressure in the gun, go ahead and turn your gun on by holding your button on. Hold it for about a half a second and dry fire your gun and get rid of any residual air pressure that's in the gun. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and remove the regulator. Okay, and get that out of the way. And the next thing you want to do is remove the two grip frame screws that are holding your grip frame in place and set those aside. Okay. Now what you need to do is go ahead and carefully slide away your grip frame. And there's a set screw here that holds in your trigger pin. So what you want to do is just go ahead and remove, don't remove it, just unscrew it a little bit. And you should be able to take your Allen key and press the pin out. As you can see what I'm doing there. And by removing the pin, your trigger, you should be able to carefully slide your trigger out of the frame through the bottom. You don't have to slide it out through the top. And your trigger spring will also come out. Okay. Now go ahead and set your trigger spring aside. Now inside the Rendition magnet trigger kit, you're going to see a nail, and what the nail is for is I've seen a couple guns that I've installed these on that the pin here was a little tough to get out, like either it had rusted or it was covered in paint or it just had a lot of gook in there. So by putting a nail in the kit, you can just carefully, just with the nail, press the pin out. Most likely you're going to be like everyone else's and it should just slide right out on its own, but I wanted to make sure you guys were prepared and I put that into the kit. Okay, first thing you want to do is get the large screw, I'm sorry, not the large screw, the large magnet, and get the smallest Allen key that you have in your kit, which in most cases is the .050. So get the smallest Allen key that you have in your kit, take your super glue, carefully punch a hole into the top of it with the cap. Okay. Now what I do is, now that with the smallest Allen key, take a drop of super glue and go ahead and put a nice sized drop on the tip of your magnet, of the large magnet. Now you'll see that this magnet fits perfectly inside of the spring hole inside of your frame. So what you're just going to want to do is put the magnet inside the spring hole, and you're just going to want to hold it there for, I don't know, maybe about a minute or so, and wait for the glue to dry. So just be patient and just hold it there for about a minute or so till the glue dries. You can actually take your hand away from it and just let the Allen key sit there. Now what's going to happen is when the glue dries, you're going to be able to carefully remove the Allen key away from the magnet. So we're just going to let this dry now for maybe about 2 or 3 minutes. A little better view here of what exactly I did. Hopefully you should be able to see that. What I did was glue the magnet inside the spring hole there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, there we go. And by letting the Allen key just kind of sit there for a little while, and once the glue dries, you can just carefully remove the Allen key and the magnet will sit in there. Now at this point, polarity does not matter, so you can glue this in there either way you want, no problem at all. But just wanted to give you a good close-up of where exactly that magnet glues into. It goes right into the spring well. Okay, now the second part, this is where things can get a little bit tricky, is you're going to take your small magnet and take a larger Allen key, one about that size, and go ahead and put it on the tip there. Now what you're going to want to do is just kind of test the polarity. Okay, that way was obviously the wrong way. So let's go ahead and get the magnet away from there. And let's try flipping the magnet around. Try it the other way. Now, repel is good. So you want this magnet to repel. And that way it does repel. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that on the Allen key for a second so I know that this way repels. Now what I do is go ahead at this point, remove the set screw, the tension set screw out of your trigger. Place a small drop of glue on top of it. Okay. And now that you know which direction your magnet needs to be, go ahead and place that the repelling side face down, and the screw will pick up the magnet for you and just kind of hold it against it. Okay. And then now that the magnet is on there, go ahead and screw this back into the trigger. Now don't go all the way, just to where it touches, or just about close to the edge of the trigger. That's about as far as you want to go for right now. Now you're going to let this glue dry for about 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and let that dry for about 5 minutes. Okay, now that we've given the magnet on the trigger about 5 minutes to dry, now what we're going to do is install it back into the trigger frame and double check for polarity. Okay, actually I'll go ahead and line the hole up, slide the pin into place, and right away you'll see that the polarity is correct. The trigger is not locked backwards. Now if your trigger, if you got the polarity wrong, it's very easy. Just flip the magnet over and re-glue it on the other side if your trigger is sticking back. So as you can see, we did the polarity correctly. So once you have your pin, go ahead and make sure it's flush on both sides. Take your Allen key and lock down the set screw holding your pin in place. And now what you want to carefully do is making sure that there are no trapped wires or any eye wires that are pinched here or anything sticking out. Go ahead and install your 2 grip frame screws. And then go ahead from here, set your magnet tension. Obviously the further you screw that in, the more tension you're going to have. You back it out a little bit to where you originally started. It's going to have a little bit less tension. But you're going to see this magnet trigger fit feels absolutely phenomenal on the ETEK. And email me if you have any questions on installing it. That's about it. We really appreciate you supporting Rendition Paintball. Once again, email me if you have any questions. Thank you very much. We appreciate your business.